12 million tons of prawn shells are discarded globally every year. And due to high cost of disposal, almost 40% of it is illegally disposed in waterways, causing eutrophication of water, biodiversity loss, and dead zones. And in the UK, 60% of the prawns that we consume comes from countries like India, Indonesia, and Vietnam, where the waste is left behind for the local community to deal with. On the other hand, every single piece of plastic ever made still exists. And I don't need to tell you why this is a massive problem. Now I want you to raise your hand if you've ever bought a bag of frozen, pre-peeled prawns. What about a box of sushi? Thank you. Now I want you to imagine if that sushi tray was made up of prawn shell waste instead of plastic. That's exactly what we're making possible at Seasprout. At Seasprout, we transform prawn shell waste into plastic alternative packaging material. We have a family of films, foams, and coatings. Our biofoam is a styrofoam alternative. It is lightweight, easily moldable, and compostable. It can be used in the protective packaging because of its antibacterial properties, thermal insulation, and good shock absorbency. For our trial, we have partnered with a leading luxury jewelry brand to make in-store packaging, and we're in the process of licensing our biomaterial technology to a manufacturer in Kerala, India, to manufacture pharmaceutical packaging for transit. We have a B2B business model, and licensing our technology allows us to seamlessly enter multiple sectors from cold chain packaging, seafood, and pharmaceuticals. In the coming months, our focus is on getting certifications from home and industrial compostability certification, filing our IP patent in India and globally, and scaling our production from lab scale to a trial production unit in Kerala. Seasprout has been showcased at major industry, won prestigious awards, and we've also been showcased on BBC with brands like Leon Seafoods reaching out to us, knowing when they can start implementing it in their supply chain. I'm Ria Thomas, the founder and inventor of Seasprout. I have a background in industrial design, and I've been recognized as a goalkeeper by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I have a small yet mighty team with expertise in engineering and legal expertise. Today, I'm looking for a material scientist to advance our material innovation technology and also advisors in regulatory and compliance and supply chain. So if that is you, come and reach out to me. So the next time you buy a bag of pre-peeled prawns, know that Seasprout is taking that prawn shell waste and turning it into something useful. Thank you.
OK, time for the Q&A now. And let's kick one off with a question while the audience get theirs in, Ria, about where you're getting the raw materials from. Is it consistent and scalable?
Yeah. So raw material is like a very important part of Seasprout, and we're focused on getting our raw materials from frozen seafood units. And so one of our partners that we're working with in Kerala, so they produce around 72 tons of, they process around 72 tons of prawns every day, and that's around 300 tons per month. So we're essentially taking the waste off their hand, and they're also saving on like disposal costs. And for us, even if it's different types of prawns, it doesn't matter, because we're essentially extracting the chitin and using that. So it's a scalable process, and yeah.
Fantastic. OK. First question in from the audience. How much plastic demand is it possible to displace with your solution, and what is the supply constraint?
So I think we're focused on very much using our strengths as a material, what are our strengths. So it's the antimicrobial property that's inherent within shrimp. So looking at industries where they need to replace the plastic. So for example, the pharmaceutical industry needs this right now with the need for plastic alternatives, and with the material providing them that antimicrobial property, it kind of fits in with what they're looking for. And what is the supply constraint? So far, I don't see a problem with the raw material processing. It's about getting to scale what the industry needs.
Understood. Okay. The next question from the audience. Which markets will you enter first and why?
So based on our customer discovery and also with our trials, we're looking at the pharmaceutical industry and the luxury jewelry packaging industry as segments that we're entering first, because there's been like a demand from them, and also we kind of fit in well with the kind of antimicrobial properties that they require, and also like the shock absorbency that the packaging materials in the luxury segments require. So those are the kind of two segments that we're looking at entering first.
Okay. Next question in asks, how do you position yourselves on a market where other natural materials are already being used for packaging?
I think one of our key differentiator, again, comes down to our material properties. So not a lot of bio-based materials have antimicrobial properties, so you have to like chemically tailor the material to meet those requirements. So whereas we're an entirely natural-based process, and also another advantage is our raw material comes to us practically for free. So material cost is much cheaper because of that. We're not paying to get our raw material, which is also another key differentiator.
Mm-hmm. Do we have time for one more? Let's see if we have another question to come in. Have you done any allergen testing on the end product?
Yes. So chitin is actually, there's no allergens, because when we kind of remove the compound that we're using to make the biomaterial, the allergens are kind of removed. So the compound that causes the allergens is basically not there in the finished material.
So people with a prawn allergy wouldn't have an issue?
No, there wouldn't be an issue. So actually, this, so the surgical threads that's used in the industry is actually made from chitin. So anybody can use it, and that's not going to cause an issue in anybody's body.
Mm-hmm. Okay, brilliant. We're out of time. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much.